Hey guys, it's Rick back again for another Cinema of Frankenstein from 1910 till now. And we've made it to 1971 for Dracula vs Frankenstein. Now this is a drive-in flick. It's a pretty good campy cheese. It's a guilty pleasure of mine from childhood. Directed by Al Adamson. It runs 91 minutes. It's got an interesting cast. You've got J. Carrol Naish as Dr. Frankenstein. Lon Chaney Jr. comes in as Groton, which is his mute assistant. Xander Volkov is Count Dracula, which I liked his performance in this. Anthony Easley is Mike Howard. One of the heroes, Regina Carroll, is Judith Fontaine, which is actually Al Adamson's wife. Angela Rosito, the little midget who plays Kazubo, he's like a carnival barker. And then you got two different people playing the monster in this one. You got John Bloom and Shelley Weiss. So originally this film was called The Blood Seekers, and it focused on J. Carrol Naish, who's trying to secure some blood to cure his legs because he can't walk, and Lon Chaney Jr.'s character Groton, who's just a madman. But they decided to change it. They liked the idea of doing a team-up film like the old movie monster days with Dracula versus Frankenstein. So a Frankenstein monster comes in. They have Xander playing Count Dracula, who has an interesting... He speaks through like an echo box, and has a really cool Dracula ring, which I really did like. I'd love to have a replica of that. And then the monster... Not the best makeup job, probably one of the weakest I've ever seen. But we have a monster. That's about all I can say. They did at least get the coat and pants right. The hair, just the face, it looks terrible. So, just of the story, then with them brought in, is Judith Fontaine comes to look for her missing sister. And then, of course, we run into Dracula, who is teamed up with Dr. Frankenstein, not only to revive the monster, but through this blood serum that he's working on to become invincible during the day, because it's supposed to make him immune to sunlight. We have our big monster battle at the end, and it's over. This is just good, campy fun. Critics didn't like it, and but it was always one of those late night movies that I always enjoyed. There's a lot of cool things in here. You get the last performance from J. Carrol Naish and Lon Chaney Jr., who died shortly afterwards. Angelo Rosito is always good to see him. You know, one of the most famous dwarfs from Freaks, and he done some stuff with Bela Lugosi. He was in Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. The lab sets are all stuff that was pulled from the original Frankenstein, and the music in the film actually is music from some of the Universal Monster films, because you had the guy that did those scores come in, and they used some of those scores for this film. So there's some nice little tributes to the past. There's some stuff that doesn't work well. Like I had mentioned earlier, there were two people play the monster because the original actor wasn't available in the last scene. It's a different guy, and the makeup is slightly changed. Another inconsistency you see is later on, Dracula's character's wearing some fangs in his mouth that don't really fit, and a lot of white makeup for some really weird reason. But it was made on the fly. It's cheap. It was made for the drive-in market. It's not a bad movie. I didn't hate it. Like I said, I remember seeing this a few times when I was a kid, and it's one of those that's always stuck with me, so I'm glad I've got it. So I'll link a trailer down below so you can see it. That's all I got. Take care. Go watch a movie.